Hello students. Today we're going to watch a video lesson and complete some problems on solving systems of equations through substitution. Let's think back on some problems that we've solved. We've looked at certain scenarios such as hiring a band for a party. We looked at the information from the problem, we created t-tables, found the slope, y-intercept, and then graphed them. We typically graphed them with the number of guests attending and the cost of hiring that particular band. We found some that might be, let's say, $3 per guest, so 0 people would be $0. One person 3, 2 people 6, and so on. Then we found others that might just charge a flat fee, but a cheaper rate. So their line might look something like this. We looked at that point where the two are equal and saw that it was an x, y. The x stood for the number of guests, so that was the point at which it didn't matter which band we chose because the number of guests were equal and the cost would be equal. That xy value where both scenarios are the same. In this video, we're going to go on and find a different way to solve these same types of problems. Rather than creating t-tables and graphs and finding points on a graph, there's a quicker algebraic way, and we're going to find out how. It's called substitution. So let's look at a simple example for how to use substitution. Now remember, substitution means to put something in for somebody else. So when I'm absent and I can't be your teacher, we bring in a substitute, or somebody else that does the same job and just might look a little different. Before we start, please copy these two equations onto your papers and then press play to continue. So let's move on. I want to solve for A or B, and it really doesn't matter which one. To solve for A or B, we need to get the same equation, the same variable in our equation. So I'm just going to take this A plus B equals 4. Now because we've been doing this together, I want you to pause the movie and solve for A. Let's see how you did. If you solve for A, you should have seen this positive B here. So to get rid of the positive B, we're going to put in a negative B. And that would give me A equals 4 minus B. If you got this problem correct, continue. If not, pause the movie and fix your notes. So now it's time to substitute. Now I know what I got for A. A is equal to 4 minus B. So I'm going to take my other equation, 2B plus A equals 7, and I'm going to substitute what I found for A. So instead of writing the A, we're actually going to replace it with the 4 minus B. Let's see what that looks like. I should get 2B plus 4 minus B, and that's going to equal 7. Pause the movie and write this new equation and the substituted equation into your notes and then solve for B. Let's see how you did. Oh, these look confusing. I'm sorry. I'm going to change those to arrows. So 2B minus B, we have to combine like terms. B plus 4 equals 7. To get B by itself, I'm going to put a negative 4 on both sides. I now can see that B is equal to 3. So I now know that b is 3. I can use my original equation from up here, a plus b equals 4, to see what a would equal by actually using substitution again. So now I know I have a plus 3 equals 4, and you can do this one in your head. A equals 1. So by using substitution, we were able to see that b is 3, a is 1. Then we always go back and check our work. If a plus b equals 4, does 1 plus 3 equal 4? Yes, so we know we got the answers correct. Make sure you have the rest of the notes from this problem in your notes on your paper. So let's look at the steps we're going to use to solve these types of problems. Number 1, for future problems, we're not going to use the a and the b. We're going to assign values for x and which numbers would be y. Next, we're going to find the simplest equation to solve. In the AB example, we did the simple a plus b equals 4. Next, when you have that one variable alone, we plug it into the equation using parentheses. Now, in our a plus b example, we didn't really need parentheses, but in some, we're going to need to bring it in with parentheses so that we can distribute a coefficient in front to the rest of the numbers. Next, we want to double check to see that we have only one variable. After that, combine like terms and distribute if possible, and solve. Next, we substitute. Once we have that one variable, we have to go find the second variable. So we substitute again to find that second variable. And then last, we double check to make sure that our solution is correct. Pause the movie now and write these 7 steps into your notes. So let's try one. Solve 3x plus 2y equals 16 and 2x plus y equals 9. Let's start with our list of things to do. We don't need to name our variables x and y because those are the variables that are in our problem already. 2. Find the simplest equation and solve for one of the 2 variables. Well, I know when I solve equations, first I have to subtract and then I have to divide, so it makes it much easier to solve for a variable that's already by itself. So I'm going to go ahead and use this 2x plus y equals 9, and I'm going to solve for y. Pause the movie now and try this on your own. Join us when you're done. Hopefully you copy the 2 equations in your notes, and then to solve this equation, you subtracted 2x from both sides. So that gave you y is equal to 9 minus 2x. Okay, so we've found the simplest equation, and we've solved for one variable. We now know what y is. Now we can't. Now we're going to go back and use this equation up here. So let's go ahead and bring in the y, 9 minus 2x, instead of the y in the equation. So this gets a little tricky. I know I have the 3x plus 2y. Oops, but we're not going to use that y. We're going to substitute it. So it's going to be 2, and instead of y, we substitute that with 9 minus 2x. And we know that all of that is going to equal 16. Let's look again at what we did. We solved this equation here for y, and that y is 9 minus 2x. So we went back to the first equation, 3x plus 2y, but instead of this y, we put this value for y. We put 9 minus 2x. Go ahead and pause the movie and try to solve this multi-step equation on your own. Let's see how you did. So we plugged it in, number 3. Number 4, double checked you have a variable, one variable. Now we're going to combine like terms and solve. So we always start in the parentheses, but since there's a variable, we can't. So we are going to have to distribute. So 3x plus 2 times 9 is 18, and positive 2 times a negative 2x is negative 4x. So negative 4x is going to equal, all that is going to equal 16. Once I've distributed, I can now combine like terms. 3x minus 4x is negative x plus 18 equals 16. Get rid of the 18 to get x by itself. Okay, and so now I have negative x is equal to negative 2. We know that our variable can't be negative, so we're going to divide both sides by negative 1. And so that's going to give me positive x equals positive 2. So we combined like terms and we solved. We see that x is equal to 2. Make sure this is what you have in your notes. Now that we know what x is, we're going to figure out what y is. So let's use that first simple equation, 2x plus y equals 9. Or we can use our other equation, y equals 9 minus 2x. It doesn't matter. So if x is 2, that means 2 times 2 plus y is 9. Or 4 plus y is 9. And that says that y is equal to 5. So we now solved for our second variable. X is 2 and y is 5. Let's just double check to make sure that that works. So I'm going to go back to this original one. 2 times x is 4. 4 plus 5, does that equal 9? Yes, it does. So I know my answers are correct. And I'm going to write my answer as an xy solution. So the solution here would be 2, 5. Copy the rest of this problem into your notes. Let's do a word problem. iMiddle is selling tickets for a school play. On the first day they sold 4 children's tickets and 1 adult ticket for a total of $18. The second day they sold 3 children's tickets and 3 adult tickets for $27. Find the cost of 1 child's ticket and 1 adult ticket. So I'd like you to pause the movie and copy this problem into your notes. Okay, let's move on. In this case, our first step is going to be assigning an x and a y variable. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that x is equal to a child's ticket and y is equal to an adult ticket. So let's read our problem. On the first day, they sold 4 children's tickets. So that would be 4x and 1 adult ticket. It should just be ticket, not tickets. So that would be y. So 4x plus y, and that was a total of $18. Well, the second day, they had 3 children's tickets, 3 adults tickets, and that was $27. So if we have 3, what's children's tickets for x? 3x plus 3y, and that equaled $27. Now, using all the steps that we learned in the previous examples, I want you to try to solve this system of equations using substitution. You might want to go back and look at your notes and review the steps. Let's see how you did. I would want to start with this simple one because I see y right here by itself and that's easy to solve. So I would take 4x plus y equals 18, and I'm going to solve for y. Well, take away 4x from both sides, so that would tell me that y is equal to 18 minus 4x. So now we're going to substitute. We'll go to this equation here, and I have 3x plus 3y. Well, I know I have the 3, and instead of the y, I'm going to substitute it with what I found here, 18 minus 4x. And that's going to equal 27. Pause the movie and check your notes so far. Let's move on. We're going to simplify this, so 3x plus 3 times 18 is 54, minus 4x and a 3x is minus 12x equals 27. So combining like terms, I see that I have a 3x and negative 12x. That will be negative 9x plus 54 is 27. Continuing to solve, we get rid of or use inverse operations of whatever's adding or subtracting first. So take away 54 from both sides. So that gives me negative 9x is equal to negative 27. So getting x by itself, excuse me, going to divide both sides by negative 9, which would give me x is equal to 3. Wow, that's a lot of work. So going back to the problem, that means that the child's ticket was $3. I might actually just go put a 3 up there to help me keep track. Well, if the child's ticket is 3, then we will still want to know what the adult ticket is. I'm going to go back to that simple equation, right? The 4x plus y equals 18. Now that I know what x is, I can solve for y. X is 3, so we substitute that. 4 times 3 plus y is 18. 12 plus y is 18. So y is equal to 6. Let's just double check to make sure that works. 4 times x is 3. So is, let's see, if 4 times 3, which is 12, plus 6, does that equal 18? It sure does. So the number, or the cost for a child's ticket is 3, and the cost for an adult's ticket is 6. Pause the movie and make sure you have these steps into your notes. Now it's time to try some on your own. Solve these two sets of linear equations, find x and y for both, and bring your notes to class tomorrow. Good luck!